Welcome, this is Rabbi Phil Bressler of Beit Am in Corvallis, Oregon, and this is the daily summary video for the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Yomi Daily Halacha Learning Project, covering the passage from Siman 103, Seif 12, to Siman 104, Seif 6. You can find links to the Hebrew and English text of this passage and to the calendar of upcoming passages in this video's description. Continuing and wrapping up our discussion of the laws of rejoicing on Yom Tov, and continuing a theme from yesterday, one should not even visit or really even allow your family to visit places where what the Kitzur calls Kalei Rosh, literally light-headed people, congregate. I think contemporary examples of this might be things like bars and restaurants. Not that these places are inherently bad, but they're not the right kind of environment to celebrate in on a holy day. Which brings up, I think, an important distinction, and I think an important insight into what halacha is trying to do for us. You might think, rejoice, celebrate is a mitzvah that directs us to just cut loose, to do whatever we feel like. But in reality, it's a directive to celebrate that which really matters. See the themes of the various celebratory Jewish holidays: freedom, remembrance of oppression in order to recognize oppression elsewhere, the giving of Torah, the bounty of the harvest, the fact that we have shelter over our heads. I think this is actually kind of what's happened to celebratory holidays in other cultures upon their impact with the sort of American can't tell me what to do idea. See, for example, St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, or Mardi Gras. These are now mostly just days for wild partying. But Judaism and Halakha say, no, our values permeate every corner of our lives, and it's a comprehensive lifestyle. We celebrate with and for a purpose. So a couple of last Yom Tov notes. Havdalah is made on the last Amidah of Yom Tov with wine, but no candle or spices. Remember, this is different from the home Havdalah ritual, which still has those. We're talking about just an insertion to the liturgy as recited in synagogue. And the day after a festival retains a little bit of that festival flavor as what's called Isru Hag. Now, historically, this was a day for pilgrims who had made their way to Jerusalem to travel back home. Now, it serves to me, in my mind, as a much more sensible transition back into regular life. Celebrating, takes a lot of work. You got to clean up, do laundry, all that kind of stuff, and it's better to wind the holiday down a little bit gradually. Once Yom Tov is over, on some occasions, that Yom Tov would be followed by what's called Chol HaMoed. So speaking of days that aren't Yom Tov, but still have some of that flavor, Chol means ordinary, HaMoed, the festival. So this refers to the intermediate days in between the Yom Tov days at the beginning and the end of Pesach and Sukkot. Now these are extended festivals that are prescribed by Torah. So it's necessary to give them those intermediate days some special character, but at the same time can't practically institute ritual of the same rigor as on Yom Tov. There's sort of an in-between level of holiness. So how do we conceptualize this in-betweenness? Through the structure of melachot. Remember, these are labors normally entirely prohibited on Shabbat and on Yom Tov, and entirely permitted on ordinary days. So it's okay to do melachot on Chol HaMoed for things like food preparation or to prevent a substantial loss. We're talking about money or property. In general, do things in a kind of in-between way. Fancier than usual, not as fancy as on Shabbat or Yom Tov. There are some workarounds for particular labors that just need to get done. Having a non-Jew do it for you is a common one. Still, don't plan on doing melacha on Chol HaMoed if you don't have to. Generally speaking, if you've got to do it, work to earn enough money to buy food, for example, then you've got to do it. But at least try to act like you're still in festival mode. Sounds to me like a lot of vacations I take myself. That's all for today. As always, our learning is dedicated to Rabbi Shlomo Gansfried, the author of the Kitzur, and the historic Jewish community of Uzhhorod, Ukraine. See you tomorrow.